Now, whenever I tune into Facebook, the question is always there: what's on your mind? And thinking of what is on my mind, another question pops up. A question someone asked me recently. The person said, I see you post a lot of pictures, some dealing with nature, some dealing with people, customs, culture, various aspects of life. Um, when did you start writing and when did you start getting to like nature? And I had to go back years and years and years, since I was a little boy going to the St. George's RC Boys School. You see, nature has always had this great fascination for me. I was always interested in what I see: flowers, trees. It caught my interest. I would sit on the beach, and many people have seen me writing about Pandy Beach, my favorite beach. Yes, many beaches in Grenada appear to be more beautiful than Pandy Beach. But for some reason, Pandy Beach always gripped my attention. And I've had various experiences there. I even used to study, prepare for the GCE examination under the manjaline trees on Pandy Beach. So yes, going back to the fascination with nature, I will sit on the sand and I would look at a sand crab, running, darting to and fro, and then it would stop right in front of me and look at me, and I would look at it, and any movement, the crab will dart away into its hole, and I will get a lesson from that. The crab didn't trust me, and then I will see birds on the backs of cows in woodlands, St. George, and I'll say to myself, how come the birds will go onto the backs of the cows and they wouldn't do that to me unless I train the bird? Again, a probing mind I always had. And just thinking of my youthful days, there were times I asked myself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Yes, who am I? I asked myself, and it's only when I got the knowledge of a creator and the belief in God that has strengthened me in my belief, and I came to realize who I am: a person created by God Almighty. So, yes, why I write, I don't want to lose the trend of thought. You know, I have a tendency to ramble, go from one thing to the next. Yeah, so when going back to writing and seeing things, so when I go to places in Grenada like Livera, or good friends will take me to the mountains of Samaritan and various parts of Grenville. You know, I must say I'm fortunate, very, very fortunate to have had and do have so many good friends. I say to have had because some passed on to the great beyond already. So, yes, what's on my mind this morning? Good question from Facebook. And the other question somebody asked: why or when did you start writing or getting that interest in nature? You see, there's so much to enjoy. I remember sitting in Woburn near the sea and looking at the sea egg, the black and white sea eggs. And you ever realize or understand why some places will have this strong, strong pull, will attract you more than other places. There are some things that we just cannot explain, but we gravitate towards it because it interests us and it pulls our attention. So yes, Woburn, one of those places that I do find enjoyment, peace of mind. Peace of mind. What's on my mind? I would say looking forward to long life. Long life. Well, I'm getting older, and the more I get older, the more I appreciate life. And going back again, I like to go back to the time when I won a prize in Grenada in an essay competition they had. I think it was based on Caribbean Free Trade Area. And I remember the time I went to Mount Royal to receive a prize. The contest was among secondary school students. And I was so happy. And I shook Eric Gary's hand, Prime Minister Gary's hand, and he gave me a book. I don't know what became of that book. But writing and observing of nature has always been with me. And one thing I want to say before I close is that much of what I do in terms of putting pictures out there and stories, inspirational pieces, going back to people who walk the streets of Grenada, the unsung heroes, I would say, making the world know about them. Let me say, I do it from my heart. It is not for name. It is not for fame. I do it because I realize that there is a certain richness in our culture that our young people must know about. And when I leave this earth, I will leave something. So it will help them not to stumble or to think hard to find out what went before them. And as Shaper School, St. John's Christian Secondary School prepares to celebrate the 60th anniversary, I want to take the time to thank the wonderful teachers who helped me develop myself. I can think in terms of literature, Sister Sheila Smith and Sister Joy Shaper, Sister Joan Ferreira also, who read my essays in the class during my days at St. John's Christian Secondary School. So I want to take this opportunity to thank them, not only them, but all the other teachers, Dr. Kenny Lewis. I want to thank Dr. Dunstan Campbell, Dr. Williams Samuel. I call him a doctor because he is, in my mind, worthy of that title. I want to thank them. And yes, I'll continue to write. I'll continue to bring Grenada to the world, because when I look at the Chinese, when I look at the Americans, when I look at the Japanese, they document, they put the history out there. We find today that people are arguing about what went on in 1983 and they cannot agree, disagreement. Where are the newspapers? Where are the books? The documentation? Yes, there are some books. There should be more. So putting things out there, documenting, is very important. And I will do my part, writing. And yes, it was always in me. When I walk the streets, of Grenada. I walked on the Carronade and I looked at the boats and I looked at the water, the ripples. I look at, the boat rocking gently in the water. Something used to move within me and it would register. I didn't know back then that I was going to write about those things years in the future. And so it happened. A bit of a rambler, but I just spoke from my mind. A little of this and a little of that. God bless you. And remember, people, we are one people, man. We are one. I remember the times there were a lot of argument and confusion between GNP and GULP. But you know what? At Christmas time, boy, a GNP drinking rum with a GULP. Let us realize that we are one people. God bless. Signing out, Anthony Wendell, The Regs.